Funny you mentioned Chris Candido as well. I mean, I believe he was one of the victims of the heightest Vince McMahon regime at the time. I mean, didn't they try and turn him into Mighty Mouse at one point, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. It's all these corny things you hear. The fact the guy always, things that are going on in politics and us or business, and we're hearing crazy stuff today. And I'll say to people, there was somebody sitting in an office somewhere that one day went, "Hey, I got an idea," and I'd love to be a fly on that wall to see like what the faces on everybody else around the table did. And like it's like with Vince, it's well known the all the stories of the yeah, Vince, we think yes, Vince, we think you're great. Everything you say is correct. That somebody came up with an idea to do a Mighty Mouse type gimmick, and it was bad enough the Body Adonis stuff and everything else. Again, this was Vince's era where the goon and the evil plumber and the evil college professor and all these like just real stupid caricature things that I had grown up watching wrestling. And it didn't matter to me what somebody had been prior. When I first saw Harley Race wrestle, he looked like a truck driver. I didn't think of him as a truck driver. I thought, my God, he's amazing in the ring. Billy Graham, not the greatest in the ring worker, but boy, look at that body in the mid 1970s and the gift of gab and the blonde hair. And, just take me and put me on the hook and you got me. And suddenly we went into this really bad period of gobbledygookers and goons and just evil deans and all that. It's just cornball.
What's so funny about that is, obviously, the WWF wasn't doing very well in 1995, so where they had all these occupational characters, where it made it seem like they were earning so little that they had to have two jobs. So you had to have the wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a fan's perspective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at this and going, well, so like, why is the plumber not out fixing a drain somewhere? Or the dean, why isn't he lecturing in the college somewhere? It really did. And I know I've told this story before, so stop me. And if I've said it to you guys here, when they came up with the Dean character, they hadn't really yet told me the name or what they were sort of this nebulous type of idea. And I went into a boardroom. Vince was not there. It was the writers. And they all had my actual resume. Their teacher and this and that. And they're looking at the resume and they had me take my shirt off and had me slowly turn. So I'm pirouetting at the front of this table, and they're all going, well, they're ready to give you the secrets of the universe. This is the meaning of life. And they see this teacher gimmick right now. He's the evil teacher. And they starts progressing, and it becomes, no, he's the principal. No, he's this. And it ramps up, and finally somebody says he's a dean. And when they came up with that, now, when I left that room, it was an odd enough experience, sort of surreal, that when I went to Vince, my deal with Vince was that whatever we did was kept legitimate. So if I was going to be a professor, I'm envisioning somebody in a black gown, like with the leaflet around the neck, what do they call it? Baccalaureate. And, this type of a deal. So that the grades were meant to be A, B, C, D, F. This guy was supposed to be a strict disciplinarian, which I had been chairman of the discipline committee when I taught. Supposed to be these things, and this is where they come up with the idea for the paddle. Now, you start to get into this, and you go like, okay, like bondage type, like gay stuff. Like it's sort of weird. Like only paddling guys with a board, and it just sort of like took this off ramp to where the character as conceived verbally between me and Vince, I think would have worked, and I could have certainly carried that off. But then it sort of took this off ramp to now the grades were TT for terrible twosome and cornbally stuff like that. That it just went from this idea in my head that was crystallized to this sort of boring guy, speaking in a monotone voice. And by the way, for the fans out there, Vince told me one time with the voice, I said, well, I'm bored out of my skull doing this. I said, please let me do some inflection and stuff. And that's when I did the actual as the franchise, but giving the same grade, same verbiage. And where he pulled me aside and said he appreciated my way, but the reason he had me doing that was in 8th grade. This was Vince's story. In 8th grade, he had a teacher that talked like that, and it drove him crazy. I went, okay, a couple differences. In 8th grade, you couldn't just get up and walk out. You were a captive there. Today, I'm one of them. People do this. Commercial comes, I don't watch commercial. Flipping and come back. I said, fans see this guy talking like that. As soon as they see him standing, they're going, "Oh, I'll be back." He's going to bore me out of my socks and or out of my boots. But that was Vince's reason. 8th grade teacher drove him crazy.
Oh, goodness me, Vince. What can you say?
Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
And now with that mustache.
Yeah, pervert mustache, dyed brown hair. Madman. He's an absolute madman.